Thank you, Charles, for having us here today in Seattle Colleges. I'm the Vice Chancellor, so that's North Seattle, Seattle Central, and South Seattle Colleges. People were asking me that earlier if Shoreline was a part of our organization, and it is not yet at least. So I'm going to take a page out of Greg's book. He talked about his granddaughter in a little story. So last night I was working on some notes for this presentation, and my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there helping me, and she looked over my shoulder and said, "What does that mean?" And I just typed the partnership between the Seattle Colleges and InterConnection. If you look it up if you look up no-brainer in the dictionary or encyclopedia, this is what you'll see. And she looked at me and she said, "What does that mean?" And I said, "Well, you know, no-brainer is something that's obvious, or why wouldn't you do this?" And she said, "No, what's an encyclopedia?" And I said, "Well, it's where you look things up that you don't know and want to learn more about." And she said, "I thought that was Google." So it's a little story, but it relates to what InterConnection is doing, is providing technology and resources to people, because that's becoming more and more what is needed for people to survive and thrive in this world. So just a quick little story that really hit home for me last night. And I told my son where this event was going to be, and he'd been here for the Moisture Festival, which is kind of a circus thing, and he warned me not to get hurt on the trapeze. So they come from different perspectives sometimes. At the Seattle Colleges, one of our core values is partnerships, and I'm going to read just that to you because I think it really exemplifies what we're doing with InterConnection. We at the Seattle Colleges promote partnerships with business, industry, labor, government, education, and community organizations that expand educational and employment opportunities, increase our understanding of community educational needs, and foster cooperative use of resources. So I think Charles would agree that that's exactly what we're doing with InterConnection here at the Seattle Colleges. So in the next 5 minutes, which is what Jeremy indicated I had, I want to just talk about 3 quick ways that our partnership furthers our mission and our goals and our vision, and why it gives us warm fuzzies for being involved with InterConnection, because it really does. This is something we feel really good about and really are passionate about continuing to participate in. So InterConnection mission statement, and it's going to sound a lot like what I just said. We make information and communication technology accessible to underserved communities around the world. We accomplish this mission by providing high-quality refurbished computers to nonprofit and non-governmental organizations. So that's exactly what Seattle Colleges are all about. The computers and equipment that we donate to InterConnection, and my attorney told me that we're a state agency, we are not allowed to donate, so we're surplusing our computers to InterConnection. So if you could change the program so it says surplus instead of donate, that would help me out a little bit. But the organizations you're contributing to, that you're refurbishing and recycling and reusing these computers with, are organizations we work with every day. Just a quick perusal of your website I did before I prepared for this. Year Up is an organization that provides intensive training programs, providing low-income young adults with hands-on skill development, college credit, and internships. Sounds exactly like a community college, and we partner with them outside of InterConnection already. Healthy Start, a home-based parent education program for low-income first-time parents under the age of 23. Exactly what we're doing with our parent cooperative education programs. So in my role at Seattle Colleges, I don't get a lot of warm fuzzies in my work. I'm often telling people no, or we can't do that, or we have to do this a certain way, or the budget's being cut. So just this partnership really does sort of get me fired up at work every day to know that we're doing this type of good directly with our surplus property. InterConnection provided me with some data that our donations from the Seattle Colleges alone this year have impacted more than 300 nonprofits and low-income families in the Puget Sound area just through the reuse of our machine. So give InterConnection a hand for taking those resources and reusing them in such a dramatic way. Our sustainability coordinator is here with me tonight in the back, and so one of the things we value is sustainability and our environmental impact. We're striving to be leaders in that, and we want to lead by example, so we believe working with InterConnection is one way we're doing that. I got some data, again, from InterConnection, that we've saved just through the Seattle College's donations over the last 6 months. So this is simply one organization in 6 months. We've saved the environment from the equivalent of annual greenhouse gas emissions from 350,000 cars. We've saved annual greenhouse gas emissions from 600,000 tons of waste being sent to the landfill. We've saved the environment from the equivalent of CO2 emissions from 230,000 homes' electricity usage for 1 year. And finally, we've saved the environment the equivalent amount of carbon sequestered by 42,890,308 tree seedlings grown for 10 years. So dramatic impact from one organization's efforts using InterConnection. And those things are great, but the thing that most excites me is that our staff are excited about using this. One of our surplus property managers is here tonight with us, and she commented right before I came up here that, gosh, I wish InterConnection took more than just electronics because they are fantastic to work with. I'd love to give them as much of our surplus property as they could work with. So we're happy to see that you're taking some of our medical equipment and things like that. We'll be using that in the future. Our IT staff are just overly elated about this opportunity. They love, love, love working with InterConnection and feeling their jobs. It's sometimes hard to feel connected directly to students in the community. This gives them that direct connection. So we couldn't be happier with our work here with InterConnection right now. Recently, I had the opportunity to interview someone from another community college in the local area, and he was lamenting that they have 16 pallets of computers stacked up in a storeroom at the back of their campus that used to be a classroom that's not being utilized because they're not sure how to get rid of this stuff or what to do with it. I talked to Rasmus before the event, and he said, turn me on to that guy and I'll talk to him, and hopefully there'll be a new partnership with another college and University of Washington and others to come in the future. So finally, I'd just like to thank InterConnection for their superb staff. Like I said, we're relatively new customers or surplusers to InterConnection, and they've just been outstanding. It's from day one, they reached out to us, asked us if we had any questions. Staff that they've worked with have been really, on our side, have been really excited about working with them, and our IT directors are excited about surplusing computers for a change. So as I said earlier, this truly is a no-brainer for us. So I did Google what my daughter said. I said, what is a no-brainer? So I came up with this, and you may not be able to see it. So about the third thing that Google showed up, and this is why encyclopedias are still needed. It's a quote from Robert Frost. It says, the brain is a wonderful organ. It starts working the moment you get up in the morning and does not stop until you get into the office. So that's a no-brainer, just like Seattle College's and InterConnection is. Thank you.